Julius Randle dropped a career-high 57 points, but the Knicks still lost to the T-Wolves 140 to 134 at the Garden. So we're bringing back Danny B from the Knicks Walk. How'd the Knicks let this one slip away?
All right, so the way I'm gonna put this is a little reverse psychology on you, right?
Okay, all
Because
right.
it's not so much about how they let it slip away, it's about how they started this game out to begin with. Because I look at it as like, how do you not fall into, what happened in this game? And it's like it's all points to the first half. The Knicks just played no defense at all in the first half. The Knicks defense was on a milk carton, hands down. Could not find it whatsoever. In a game like this, where the Minnesota Timberwolves are shooting over 80% in the first quarter, 70 plus percent by the second quarter, the Knicks were shooting pretty well also. So when you have two teams that are hitting their shots consistently, to me, the difference is defense. The difference maker has to be defense. And this season, that's been the Knicks' signature, right? I mean, we've talked about it plenty of times. The Knicks' signature has been defense. The signature defense is what got them to this position right here. So for me, to not let this game slip away is to not start it off the way that you did and dig such a hole to begin with. The way that the Knicks played in the second half is the way that I wanted to see them come out right from the gate, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen.
All right, the defense was on a milk carton, but Julius Randle's jumper wasn't. The man was a walking bucket, 57 on the night. What do you think of his night last night, and where do you put that performance amongst former Knicks great nights at the Garden?
Yeah, so walking bucket is a perfect term because last night this guy couldn't miss. He just went off that third quarter. Wherever he was, he did not hesitate when he let it fly, and it was going in. And the thing is with Randle, he takes a lot of shots every game. So you're gonna have games like this where they're just going in unconsciously, and that's exactly what happened last night. Digging us out of the hole, obviously a big help. We, caught all the way back up. We're only down one now going into that fourth quarter. But again, the Knicks could have came out and played like this right from the get-go and, had a lead right from the bat and not had to dig themselves out of a hole. That's what I'm looking for out of a team that's in fifth place, looking to make a run in these playoffs. You know what I mean? You got to put that foot on the gas, and you can't look back regardless who's on the other side of the court.
Let's talk about that run because they've got 9 games left. How do they close this season out on a high note?
Man, so exactly what I was just saying, right? They got to come into every single game knowing who this team is, knowing how you conduct business. And regardless who's on the other side of the court, you need to come out and perform. That's what I was looking for. This last 10 games, when you already are in the fifth seed, you know what I mean? There's not too much that's going to change in terms of the standings. You need to prepare now for the postseason, and for me, that's knowing what you do best, doing it well, and polishing off the little things. You know what I mean? So you can't come into a game like this knowing that Minnesota's shorthanded and take the foot off the gas. You need to come in every game and handle business right out the bat. You know what I mean? I wanted to see them come out last night, go up by 15, 20, put the foot down and coast the rest of the game. But they kind of did the opposite. And when that happens, good things don't tend to happen. Last night for me, it was all extra effort, the extra effort, because that's really what defense is, right? I mean, you're giving that extra effort on the defensive end, and when you're doing that, the defense is tight. You're fighting for boards. Last night, the Knicks didn't win the battle of the boards, and they gave up 68 points in the paint. That cannot happen. That just can't happen.
Well, they head down to Florida. They play the Heat. Then they have the Orlando Magic. And then they have the rest of the season to close out on. Hopefully they stomp out on somebody's neck, in the words of Michael Strahan, because that's what Danny B wants to see, and that's why we brought him here today.
Tim's at?
Danny B, thanks for joining us, my man.
Anytime.